What is going on, guys? I am Jaye the Black. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I want to talk about Tracee Ellis Ross and comments that she made during an interview with Oprah Winfrey. Now, Tracee is 47, and she basically said that she's good with being single. At that age and not being married, she says that she basically is the chooser now, and she's happy being single and alone. I'm going to tell you why I think that's BS. And of course, this is from my opinion, and I know some of you are not going to like my perspective on this. You know, I'm probably going to upset some people, but hey, what else is new? I'm just going to look at it because I've seen this over and over and over. You have women who are older who have unrealistic expectations. You know, no man is perfect. No man is going to be perfect. The perfect man is not going to walk into your life. And I still think that it's either one or two things, and I'm going to get to it. Either Tracee Ellis Ross just likes being single and sleeping with whoever she wants to sleep with. She doesn't like to be tied down. Or she's just waiting for Mr. Perfect. And Mr. Perfect ain't coming. Because there's a lot of women who are more attractive than Tracee. Because Tracee still looks good for her age. She still has a nice body. The same thing with Nicole Murphy. Nicole Murphy has a very nice body. But she'd rather chase behind married men. You know? Now, these are the comments that Tracee Ellis Ross made while speaking to Oprah Winfrey. Like many of us, was taught to grow up dreaming of my wedding and not of my life. And I spent many years dreaming of my wedding and also waiting to be chosen. Well, here's the thing. I'm the chooser, and I can choose to get married if I want to. But in the meantime, I'm choicefully single, happily, gloriously single, whatever that means. There's a lot of women in that boat. There's a lot of women in that I'm single by choice. I choose to be single. That's nonsense, people. Come on, man. It's one or two things. Because listen, if you are a woman who can attract men, and I'm pretty sure Tracee can attract men, men of high social status, your average everyday man. I think it's a situation of she's waiting for that right guy who's probably married to somebody else, because there are, conversation or rumors that she's been, messing around with Kenya Burris, who I actually did a video about divorcing his wife, out the blue. And there were rumors that she may have been getting with Kenya during that process. Okay. Again, that's all speculation, but would it really surprise you? I mean, we've seen what happened with Nicole Murphy and her situation, with Antoine Fuqua. Would it really surprise you, okay, that she got, that she's, dealing with a married man? Would it really surprise you? Okay. I mean, that's just the way of the world. To a lot of women, they think that the guy for them is somebody else's husband or somebody else's boyfriend. They are not attracted to single men. They don't want single men. They think something is wrong with them. I literally heard a woman say this, that she believes something is wrong with a man who's single, even though they're single and they've probably been single for quite some time, but nothing's wrong with them, right? I don't know what it is. It seems like women in their 40s are sort of like at this impasse. They're so used to getting attention from the men that they want and dating the men that they want, but those men never wanted to marry them, never wanted to settle with them. They got into a ton of short-term relationships. It could be a situation of they dated this one guy that they were really into, they really loved, and he never really loved them back. And he ended up getting with somebody else, and it scarred them. That happens. You have women who are still stuck on a man they dated when they were in their 20s and they're 42, 43. And they're still thinking about what could have happened with the other guy that they probably, it's either they didn't love him or he didn't love her. In most instances, it could be a situation of she took him for granted, because there's a lot of decent dudes out here who have been taken for granted by the women that they were with, and they ended up getting with somebody else. That can definitely happen. I know a female, okay, she told me that She ended up breaking up with a guy because he was a little bit younger than her, okay? And she felt like she just wasn't ready to settle with him because he was basically too nice of a guy, too accommodating at that particular moment. But she had regretted it. Of course you regret it, because you would rather deal with a loser, a guy who you don't know if he cares about you or not. You're just so attracted to him that you're willing to give him your best years. And when your best years are behind you, now you're looking around like, what happened? And the guy that you should have gotten with, you didn't get with, because again, you are a poor chooser. When Tracee used the words, I'm choosing, or I'm the chooser, it basically highlights that she's been choosing the wrong men for quite some time, because if she had met the right one, I guarantee you she'd still be with him. Because in a lot of relationships, even marriages, I would say for the most part in marriages, but in relationships, women are the ones that end relationships. And they will tell you, they end this relationship, they end that relationship, they end this marriage. They're the ones who are leaving and walking away. When a man invests in a woman and he sees himself with a woman long term, he's not going to leave. He's not going to leave. And I think with Tracee and a lot of women her age, they're looking for what ain't out there. No man is perfect. Every man has a flaw, no matter what you may perceive to be out there. And the thing is that they're looking for the type of guy that just ain't out here. They're looking for a guy they see in movies. Okay. They're looking at Instagram profiles and they're looking at a guy and thinking that he's this and that, but then they finally meet him and realize he has no personality whatsoever. It could be one of those situations. This is why, once again, you have to take the time to work on yourself. You have to take the time to really figure out what you want. Do you want a family unit? Do you want to build a life with somebody? Or do you want to play games? Do you want to play the field? Are you just okay with being single? It's okay to say, listen, I like to mess around. I like to have different people I can talk to and get with. There's nothing wrong with being honest, because the more honest as a woman that you are, the more men will respect that. Don't let society tell you that you should, contain who you are and not be honest. Women need to be honest with men, because that will tell men if they should commit to you long term or not. But see, women like to throw mixed signals out there because they want the attention. For the most part, they just want attention and conversation. They're not really looking for anything outside of that. They use men. You got women that will use a man for his attention and conversation that she's not getting from the men that she normally gets with, that she's normally having relations with, because those men could leave and not think twice, because they're only there for one reason. And that woman understands that, and she knows that situation is just not going to work long term. So they will go and throw mixed, because they say men throw mixed signals. I don't think so. I think there are, but for the most part, if a man wants a relationship, I think he's being honest about that. All you have to do is do your due diligence and see, are you and him on the same page? But I think women for the longest are being conditioned to not be, truthful about who they are and what they want. I think men are starting to be more truthful about what they want, whether they want relations up front or they just, they're looking for companionship. And the older you get, I think a lot of men, for the most part, they either are going to be bachelors or they're going to get with somebody. But they're not going to be getting on social media talking about they're glad to be lonely, or they are lonely, or they're waiting for the right one. A lot of these guys are going to, if they want something, they're going to go and get it. Either it's here or abroad. I just would think that women, Tracee Ellis Ross age, okay, who still have the ability to attract men, I think that they need to look at and understand what they want. Do you want a relationship, or do you just want to, screw around? Like what exactly do you want? Because saying that you are the chooser actually makes you look worse, because at 47, you're still single. And you talk about how society wants this and you want this, and for all these years you were waiting to be chosen, which lets me know that once again you were waiting on Mr. Perfect. You were waiting to be swept off of your feet, when in reality you've probably curved more decent guys than you needed to. And that is why you're where you're at. I'm pretty sure she can remember the time she was approached by the dudes that didn't have the swag, or the dudes didn't have a ton of money at that particular moment, and she wanted nothing to do with those guys. I bet she thinks about it now, because that's how it is. Because there are women out here who are going to appreciate a good man. There are women out there that's going to identify that man works hard, he's loyal, he's protective. That's the person I want to marry. And that is why you see women like Tracee or Nicole Murphy try to get with those guys, because they see that he's been in a marriage for the long haul. He's a guy who works hard, who's built something for himself, and they see that in the men that they want, or the men that they used to have. Those men are still out there, but they may not be the height that you want them to be. They may not have the six-pack abs that you want. That is why we have to make choices. You know, are you good with being lonely and single, or are you just saying that to feel better about yourself? Because when you hear stuff like this, it just shows that you're just trying to feel better about yourself, that you're not really being authentic. Be more authentic, than you will find authenticity. You will find men who are willing to work with you. But I think it starts with women being honest about their situation, saying, you know what, I'm just not a very good picker. You know, and the men that I do attract, women will say, well, they only want to sleep with you. Yeah, of course. Because for the longest time you've been single without anybody. So they're going to perceive in their mind that that's pretty much all you're doing. And that's maybe how they approach you. Why do you think Ayesha Curry gets a certain type of energy? Ayesha Curry gets a certain type of energy because she puts herself out here as a wife and mother. You know, well, that perception is changing now, but before then, and that's why a lot of guys didn't really approach her like that, didn't really come at her the way they would other women. It's all about how the perception of you is. And I think Tracee, just the perception that people have of her is she's just a chick that likes to be single and loose, and they're not really gonna approach her on no relationship tip. It's gonna be more on a let's kick it tip, you know. But I mean, you know, that's just perception.